to be educated, but I'm so frustrated.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Music Mindset channel. Lee Dorsey, y'all been asking me for him, and the guy's funky. We're gonna talk about that tonight, some of his background and some of his songs that he did. So hang around to the bottom.
Got a stone cold lover was born, Lord, I'm gonna let it shine.
Yeah, man, let me tell you something. Lee Dorsey was a funky cat. For some reason, that seems to slip a lot of people's minds in the big picture of funk music. This talented fella was born Irvin Lee Dorsey on December 24th of 1926 in the 9th Ward of New Orleans, Louisiana. And when Allen Toussaint eventually got behind the pen, those two did some incredible things together for the New Orleans music scene back in the day. Yep, and it all started back in 1961 when Bobby Robinson, New York's top black record label owner, knew that something special was happening in New Orleans because Fats Domino, who was a childhood friend of Dorsey's, was selling so many records it made his head spin. Bobby wanted in, but being so far away, he had no idea how to get a piece of all that action. That is until his promotion man down there, Marshall Seahorn, called him up and said he had found a talented singing guy named Lee Dorsey. Robinson then flew down and met the small-sized and shy Dorsey, discovering that he really didn't have any real material ready to sing. Pondering what to do, they sat on Dorsey's front porch and listened to some little girls play a clapping game, chanting, "Sitting on my la-la, Yah-Yah, inspired." Robinson and Dorsey headed off to a bar where they had a few beers and then wrote what would be Dorsey's first big hit.
Sitting in la-la, waiting for my Yah-Yah.
While many assumed Allen Toussaint played piano on that first session, it was actually Marcel Richardson, because Toussaint was contractually tied to another label at the time. But Toussaint did create the arrangement though. Yah-Yah became an instant smash, peaking at number 1 on the R&B charts and number 7 on the pop charts. And then the sound-alike follow-up, Do Re Mi, also hit the pop charts at number 27. But by 1963, Robinson had hit one of his known periodic slumps and declared bankruptcy. Dorsey didn't mind though, because he also had a few other things going on. He was 37 years old, had a boxing career behind him where he fought as a lightweight named Kid Chocolate in Portland, Oregon, following a stint as a U.S. Navy gunner in the Pacific during World War II. He also had a wife and 11 kids to support and an auto body and fender shop in New Orleans too, and that paid some bills.
20 long miles from town, my own car broke.
In 1965 though, Marshall Seahorn called the Dorsey's wrecking yard with news that he and Allen Toussaint had formed Sansu Enterprises, had some great material now, and needed a vocalist. With Toussaint's funky piano up front and a cracking band behind it, they started recording smash after smash like these here.
Get on your pony and ride.
Holy cow, what you doing, child?
What you doing? What?
Working in a coal mine, going down, 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 working in a coal.
They all did extremely well on both the R&B and pop charts for the next 3 years. Working in the Coal Mine became his biggest hit though, reaching number 8 on the pop charts. During this 1966 peak, Dorsey spent 3 months touring England, sharing stages with diverse acts like Jerry Lee Lewis and Pink Floyd. It was the last of this run of hits, recorded well after the others in 1969, when Dorsey was back banging out dents for a living, which predicted the future.
Everything I do gonna be funky.
He was often interviewed or photographed at his shop, surrounded by old cars and parts, which led to his reputation as the star in creasy overalls. Now, Dorsey didn't just work there for the money. He said he genuinely loved the craft and was widely considered a master body and fender man by the local community. By 1970, both James Brown and Sly Stone had redefined black popular music. Classic old-time soul music was still strong, but the groove-oriented pull of funk was attracting more and more record buyers. Groove, of course, was a specialty of New Orleans, which drew a lot of its inspirations from the so-called second-line drumming of local funeral parades. In particular, a bunch of studio musicians Toussaint gathered together who called themselves the Meters, yeah them, were doing great things. Toussaint had written a bunch of songs to go with these grooves. All they needed was a vocalist. A certain 44-year-old auto body dent and repair specialist came to mind.
Make this land a better land and a world in which we live.
Yes We Can was Lee Dorsey's last major charting record, finding a solid home on the soul charts. While Toussaint hoped the track would finally establish Dorsey as a major album artist, the industry had other plans. The song instead became a massive breakout hit for the Pointer Sisters in 1973.
I know darn well we can work it out. Oh, yes, we can. I know we can, yes, we can.
In 1974, Robert Palmer took Dorsey's blueprint even further, recording his debut Sneakin' Sally Through the Alley using Dorsey's own backing band, the Meters. Palmer even brought in Lowell George from the band Little Feat, who featured Dorsey's On Your Way Down prominently in their own live sets. This cycle of others finding gold in Dorsey's catalog lasted for decades. Devo turned Working in the Coal Mine into a new wave staple. John Lennon covered Yah-Yah, and the Beastie Boys eventually immortalized him in their lyrics. This last one was from Dorsey's final album, Night People, which was released in 1977 after another stint in the body shop.
Who's gonna help him get further? I'm the one and other.
It's a remarkable record, notable for socially aware lyrics and that patented New Orleans groove. By now, Dorsey was in his 50s, and after Night People sank without a trace, he limited his performing to the annual New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival and a short tour with the group The Clash. After that, he stayed home, working on cars, as he always had, because, as he would say, at least the money was regular. Unfortunately, he died on December 1st, 1986, at 59. Lee Dorsey was the principal vocal interpreter of writer, arranger, and producer Allen Toussaint's best work of the 60s and 70s. Over these 2 decades, Dorsey recorded 70 Toussaint compositions, all arranged and mostly produced or co-produced by Toussaint himself, 55 of them during 1965 to 1972, Dorsey's commercial heyday. Back in 1978, Time magazine honored Lee Dorsey by naming his album and title track, Night People, as one of the 10 best recordings of the previous year. His impact was solidified by 2 gold records, one for Yah-Yah in 1961 and the other for Working in the Coal Mine in 1966. Ultimately, while his closest collaborators were being inducted into the highest halls of music, including both the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame, Lee Dorsey himself has never been given a formal induction into either one.
You don't love me no more.
It is a glaring travesty for a man who provided the massive influence on the New Orleans sound and served as the essential bridge between early R&B and the birth of funk to not be enshrined in the permanent record of the world's music history, ensuring that the star/mechanic in creasy overalls would never be forgotten.
So yeah, man, Lee Dorsey has a story just like everybody else, and his connection to folk and the New Orleans music and that style and all that stuff. He had a big part in that stuff, man. Look him up. Hey guys, before we go forward, I want to let you know I appreciate your support by watching these videos and stuff like that. Please make sure you subscribe and comment, like, and share and all of that stuff. But I also want to let you know that we have something called Join. Most of you know what that is. You see the little Join button? It helps support the channel. I got 3 levels. We got the first chair, the second chair, and the third chair. They start at $1.99 a month, $3.99 a month, and $19.99 a month. Please consider and check it out. This is a good way to support what we're doing so we can continue to bring you good stuff and grow.